today for writing. You guys, do you remember how I told you we'd be doing something different for writing today? Yes. So we've been doing picture of the day, and we've been coming up with some great observations and inferences. However, that's not the only thing we will be doing in writing this year. This year, you will also be writing more of creative stories, and there may be times where we have a free write time and you need to come up with something to write. So there's a little activity I like to do towards the first couple days we are using our writer's notebooks. Do you remember how I told you to skip the first page in your writer's notebook? I want you to open up to that page right now. We're going to use it. So in your writer's notebook, open up to that first page. So you open up the front cover, that first piece of paper on the right. Open it up. Give me a thumbs up when you have it open, please. Awesome. Jackie, open up to the first page in your writer's notebook, please. Where is it? Okay. So what I want you to do is take out a piece of paper, Jack, so that you can at least get started on it and then transfer it to your writer's notebook, okay? All right. Thank you, Max, for giving me a thumbs up, and Elena, and Iosius. Richie, do you have a question? No. Oh, do you mean to do this? Oh, yeah. Thank you, Richie, and Philip, and Allison, and Addie, and Will, and Michael, and Layla, and Jack L, and Elena. Jeez, you guys, your names are so close together. I have a hair. Okay, so we're going to be creating what I like to call a heart map. And you might think, Miss E, a heart? I'm going to explain why it's in the shape of a heart. So this is what an example looks like. I'm going to explain to you what you're looking at. So this is called a heart map. The reason why it's in the shape of a heart is because these are all things that you care about or are good memories that you have or things that you like. We are creating this because there may come a time where I say, I want you to choose something from your heart map to write about today. In this heart, you'll notice it's sectioned off into different random shapes, right? And in each shape, there's something written. So we have like going to college in Washington, D.C., ceramics, hiking, falling off a horse. They're all different experiences or things about the person who created this heart map. Now, down here, I know it's cut off a little bit, there's a key, which tells you what each of the colors mean. She used yellow, red, green, and blue. So anything that's shaded in blue are things that this person does in their free time. Anything that's green are people that this person cares about. Anything that's yellow are places they've lived in or visited. And I'm thinking the red are memories. Okay? So, yeah, because it's cut off. You are each going to be drawing, or at the top first, you are going to write the title Heart Map in today's date. So at the top of this page, I want you to write Heart Map as your title and today's date, which is 11-4. Then, so get Heart Map and 11-4 at the top. What you're going to want to do, at the bottom, you're going to want to leave a few lines for a key. Because you're going to have at least 4 colors, or we're all going to have 4 colors that we're using. So, if you wanted to leave 2 lines, maybe put 2 of them on the right and 2 of them on the left, you could do that. If you wanted to leave 4 lines, 1 of them after each line, kind of like this, you can do that as well. I would like you to draw a box at the bottom of your paper for your key, where you're going to color code. So you could say, purple means this, pink means this, blue means this. Make a box at the bottom of your page for your key, just like our example has. Well, we need our colors eventually. Are you going to finish this page? Yes, okay. All right. Now, I wanted you to block that off first because I wanted you to see how much room you have to draw your heart. Now that you have the key boxed off at the bottom, I want you to draw a big heart on your page. Okay? You want it big because you're writing in it. A big heart on your page. Take up as much of your page as you can. And take your time. Take a big heart on your page. Yeah, make a big heart on your piece of paper. Awesome. Yes. All right. Awesome. Awesome. If someone next to you needs help drawing a heart, maybe help them if you need it. Because they need it. I can tell heart.
Well, that's all you go with that, yeah. No, you can tell them, what the heart. It's up there. You told us two right. Only reason. So wobbly. Michael, this is mine.
All right, so everyone on the first page in the writer's notebook, you should have titled the top Heart Map, put today's date of 11-4. At the bottom, you should have put a box for your key. So like this one was kind of cut off, but imagine there's a box around it. You're going to be color coding into 4 different categories. I'm going to tell you what those categories are. And then you should have drawn a big heart on your page, on the rest of the page. So, you guys, in your key, you are going to be color coding hobbies, so like things you do in your free time, people I care about, places I have lived in and visited, and then instead of having like memories or favorites or something, we're going to have the last one be other, meaning this could be anything else you think you might want to write a story about. Yeah, definitely. That would work too, Drew. So that would go in your other category. So you're going to be, in your key, you're going to be picking a color for things you do in your free time or hobbies. You're going to be picking a color for people you care about. You're going to be picking a color for places you've been or visited. And you're going to be picking a color for other, so anything else. So if you look at the key on the smartboard, the first 3 things are the same, but the 4th one, for this person, you would write other instead. So I'm going to write it on the whiteboard. I'm going to say it one more time for my virtual learners, then I'm going to write it on the whiteboard. So my virtual learners, one of your colors will be for hobbies or things you do in your free time. Another color will be for people you care about. Another color will be for places you've been in or visited. And your 4th color will be for other. So anything else that doesn't fit in those first 3 categories. And I'm going to explain what you're going to do first before I go over to the whiteboard and draw it. And so I want everyone listening. You will eventually be grabbing colored pencils. And we want colored pencils because if we use markers, we may not be able to see what we wrote. You're going to use colored pencils. You are going to be sectioning off your heart. And everyone should have, I'd say, at least 16 things in their heart, because that would be like 4 for each category. I think we can all do that. At least 16 spaces in your heart that you've sectioned off. In each space, you're going to write something that falls into one of those categories. Hobbies, people I care about, places I've lived in or visited, or other. Once you have sectioned off your heart and written something in each of the sections, at least 16, then you're going to go through and shade them based on which of those categories they fall under. So for example, if I did my heart, I might write Benny. He's not a person, but he's an animal that I care about. So maybe I would shade him green. Then maybe one of my favorite places is my college, the College of St. Benedict. And that's a place I visited. So then I would shade that yellow. Then I really like reading. So maybe I write down reading in one of my spaces and I shade that blue. And then maybe my dream vacation is to Hawaii. That doesn't fall in any of my 3 categories, so that would be other. So maybe I shade that red. So first, you're sectioning it off and writing in each of those spaces different things. Then you're going to go ahead and shade them based on what category they fall under. Allison, what's your question? No, so you can do people and pets you care about for that. Elena. So you're going to have 4 different colors, and you're going to shade the space based on which category it falls under. Does that make sense? Okay. Mackenzie, you had a question.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of confused because we would section it off,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did this on my old school, and we would write all the different places in it and then section it off.
So that is up to you. If you're like Miss E, I write kind of big. I'd rather write the things down, then make like lines around it to section off. You can do that. Or you can do the lines first, then write in them. That was a great comment, Mackenzie. So it's up to you. You can decide. Do I want to start writing first and drawing shapes around them to section them? Or do I want to draw the shapes first and then write inside them? So you choose what will work best for you. Will. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're right. Hawaii would probably, well, that's actually places I've lived in or visited already. So my dream vacation that I haven't been to before, that could go under other, okay? But if there's a place you want to go and haven't, that could go under your other. Yes, Zoe. Yes, you can have more than 16 spaces in your heart. I want everyone to have at least 16. Richie?
You have to have shapes in there?
No, it can be random. They do not have to be actual shapes. You just need to make sure they're sectioned off from others, okay? Layla? Yes, that is a great idea. Ready to rock? If it would be easier for you to list ideas first on a separate piece of paper, then make them sections in your heart, that is a great idea as well. Are there other questions about our heart map? Okay, we are going to pause this and we are going to line up for PE. Go ahead.
Let's go